Hey, what's up there? Welcome to another special edition of Bobby Pin's Celebrity Artist Spotlight. Today we have none other than the handsome model, entrepreneur, and musician Don Benjamin. He is going to talk to us today, guys, about his amazing career, like I said, as a fashion model turned influencer turned entrepreneur. He has a great success story in terms of business, but he also has some insight on love and relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in. This one is going to be good. In the meantime, if you're new here, you already know the deal. Go ahead and check out my IGTV where you can see past episodes where we have other celebrities and emerging artists and talent. Or you can head over to my YouTube, youtube.com/the Bobby Pin. Make sure you subscribe, share some content over there. And of course, visit my website. That's the easiest way to keep up with me, okay? There we go.
You see me?
I see you just fine.
All right, cool.
All right. So let's start over again. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You look like you're relaxing, chilling. How's quarantine been
Yeah,
treating you?
man, quarantine's been good. I've been busy working. So, yeah. How about
That's
you?
good. Likewise, King, trying to get on your level.
I love the background. I love the aesthetics, all the books.
You feel me? As a writer, I figured I would display some books.
Nice.
But yeah, you are a writer. You're an author. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Let's just jump right on into it. My truth, okay?
Yeah.
I love hearing and seeing men um, talk to each other about love, relationships, and how to be a better man. I feel like women, we have so many workshops and resources, and we are always trying to learn how to think like a man.
hmm
But I wonder how often you guys like tap into that, and you do in your book. So let's talk about that vulnerability. What was the process like?
It's funny because I feel like men don't tap into it enough. And I feel like I kind of had to, going through some things early this year. I had to separate myself from the norm, from my circle. Like, of course, quarantine forced us to self-isolate,
Yeah.
but even though like there were still people hanging out with their circle and their group, like I kind of just really isolated and really dug deep into like things that I wanted to work on with myself. And like every guy that I talked to in my inner circle, there wasn't a lot of vulnerability. It's kind of just we're all just programmed generationally, and we're programmed to do the same things and think the same way. And so I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to like step out of what I'm used to and get really uncomfortable. And by doing that, I was able to write a book, and I was able to change some things up about myself that I didn't like, and put myself on a new path. So yeah, I'm trying to, be an advocate for men to be more vulnerable and open with themselves, and set their egos and pride aside, and just, take a step into this mode, because it's amazing once you step there.
Yeah. So you had a very public relationship.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what that experience was like, sort of like living out this relationship on social media and then having to live out the breakup. Because I'm sure that helped lead to the book.
Yeah. It's funny because like I've gotten so used to being in the public eye that it's just, I mean, it sucks when you're the person at fault, in the public
Yeah.
eye, because then everybody's coming for you. And when you're in a public relationship, everything looks perfect.
Yeah.
So, so
Because y'all
when,
were really
when,
cute together.
yeah. And so when things aren't perfect, or when something happens and y'all end, then it like breaks this fairy tale that everybody was kind of living in with y'all. And so I guess that's the hard part, is like, damn, we broke up. It was my fault. I messed up, and now everybody's coming for my head, especially women. Like I have 75% women. So, if you break a woman's heart and you got women following you, like you're like it's a wrap,
Your
like
comments and DMs were a mess.
yeah,
That's what
like
you're
you're a
saying.
you're a horrible person, but we all make mistakes. And for me, like I wanted to make sure I learned and grew, rather than continue to do the same thing like I had been doing. So for me, I like pressure. I like when my back is against the wall, because it makes me go harder for myself. So being in the public eye and having this breakup, um, it just made me kind of work harder to be a better example. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't mind it. You know, I understand that people have comments and they have their ideas, but nobody really knows what's going on. So I'm so used to it. It's fine
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah. So, okay, in your book, you explore some of the things that led to your infidelity, such as like things that you saw in your childhood. So,
Right.
do you mind talking a little bit about that? Like, how do you think
Yeah.
your environment sort of led to
I mean,
this?
so I make it clear in my book, like there's no excuses for anything that happens. Like we all have choices, and we all know when we're not doing something right in that moment that it's not a good choice. But I feel like as men, we try to push things to the limit. And what I've been hearing since I put my book out is that women do the same thing. You know, like
That's true.
I think
There's some
it's just
dirty women.
humans in general, we like to push things to the limit and see what we could get away with and see and you know, for me it's like a lot of times there's deeper rooted issues, there's generational issues that a lot of times it has to do with childhood issues or parenting issues and abandonmentship issues or whatever the case. So in my book I kind of dive into like my relationship with my father, and you know how him not being around, I was so hungry for attention and approval
Yeah.
that I kind of went looking for it wherever I can get it, and it became an unhealthy pattern that I didn't realize was subconsciously going on. And you know, in the midst of that, people get hurt, and and I don't like to give away what's in my book and be like, oh, this is what happened, but everybody pretty much knows. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's stupid or naive, but luckily, like me and Liane are cool. We're on good terms. We've been around each other a lot, like our circle, and she understands like the what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like we had a long talk, and she read my book, and she approved of the book. And so, but I felt like I tell people all the time, like we were about to get married this year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were about to get married. We had these plans, but you can't get married to somebody until you're whole yourself. And I wasn't whole, you know what I'm saying? And so I felt like when quarantine hit, I felt like God kind of revealed to everybody things that they needed to work on for themselves.
Yeah.
And he kind of put a stop to whatever everybody had going on. And so for me, like he put a stop to this marriage. Like, no, you're not whole. You're not ready to go into a marriage. There's some serious things that you need to work on before you go into this marriage. You know what I'm saying? And so for us, like we were able to like be adults and separate and be like, look, I need to work on some issues that I'm dealing with myself. And she had to work on some things, and now we're friends, we're cool, and we're able to like whatever God has for us will be. But quarantine definitely sat me down this year, and I was like, I need to work on a lot of stuff to become the best version of myself that I can,
Yeah.
and set an example. Because when you're in the entertainment industry and when you're in the spotlight,
I was
it's
gonna
so
ask, how do you think that played into your decision? Because you're obviously a very attractive man, but on
yeah.
top of that, you're in a position where you feel and seem a little accessible. So, how did that like? I'm sure it was hard to navigate.
Well, the thing I feel like at the end of the day, what I've learned from mentors that I speak with, books that I've read, actions, I feel like we're a lot of times we're not really aware, right? We're just moving, and we're just stuck in the same pattern. We're not really we're not thinking like we think we are, but we're not really thinking. We're just going.
Yeah.
And so what I realized is when you're doing that, if certain situations come up, you're not going to be prepared to handle them because you're not really aware. So
Yeah.
you're just going. If somebody texts your phone, if you're a man and a woman texts your phone talking crazy, like you're going to reply because you're used to replying. You're used to doing these things. You're caught in unhealthy patterns. You know what I'm saying? So what I realized is like you have to like completely reprogram your mind
Yeah.
and keep yourself aware in all aspects. And this is things that men that I talk to that have been married for 20, 30 years, and they're like, bro, like I messed up so much early on in my marriage because I was just doing the same things I had been doing my entire life, and I had to sit down and reprogram my mind. I had to cut certain things out of my life that weren't healthy for me in my relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
these are things that most men, we don't really get told. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, what we're hearing is, yo, how many girls you got? Like, we hitting the club tonight, we about to pick up some girls, or we hear all these things, but they're usually not the most healthiest
There it
suggestions.
is.
You know what I'm saying? And so these are all things that I had to go learn from people. I had to separate myself from my circle for a little while and go talk to people that are married, go talk to people that have made mistakes in their life and rekindled their relationships, or they may have lost their relationship but now they know how to act in their new relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I think that what I learned, man, the biggest thing is like our mindset, and we have to learn how to control our mind, because we're everybody's just moving. We're just, whatever is being fed to us, we're just consuming it and we're doing it. We're not really creating our own lifestyle. Really, it's just an image that we're just recreating. So that's the biggest thing for me, is like, I was like, man, let me sit down and reprogram my brain and just move in the right light.
That's amazing. I mean, what would you say was the true catalyst, if that makes sense? Because you could have made that mistake and just kind of moved on,
Right.
like, all right, it wasn't. So what do you think it really was that made you dig that deep? I mean, I know you said quarantine making you sit
Yeah.
down.
Well, for me, I feel like it's funny. For me, when my father passed away 3 years ago, it kind of
Mm,
really made me start looking at life differently. And then, of course, when I had my breakup top of this year, when you have it's two things that really make people want to change their life. I feel like it's relationship issues or financial issues, right? Like when you hit rock bottom in a relationship, or when you hit rock bottom in your finances, you like, I gotta change my life. I gotta start doing things differently. And so for me, it was like I hit rock bottom in my relationship. And then after losing my father, I was just like, I can go down two paths. I can go out here and I can hit the clubs. I can go on Tinder and I could start sleeping around and you know what I'm saying? Like, just brush my feelings under the rug, or I can choose the godly route and like surrender and change things up in my life and focus on how to really better my life and change things that I had been doing that weren't healthy. And so for me, I chose the godly route, and I was like, man, let me start moving down a different path in life and surrounding myself around different people, read more. I chose that route, but you're always going to be faced with those two options. Do you keep doing the flesh? Do you move of the flesh, or do you
okay,
move of the spirit? You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was like, let me move of the spirit. Let me stop moving of the flesh.
that's awesome. Do
Yeah,
you? I can definitely hear the growth and the introspection. And you said that Liane has read the book, and you sound
yeah,
like you guys are amicable. Do you
yeah.
think there's ever a chance that you'll get back together? Is that something that you would want?
I mean, yeah, for sure. We still got, like, I still got a lot of love for her. I love her to death. That's what I would want. Like, at the end of the day, when you're the one that messes up, you kind of have to just
It's up
let
to
let
her.
it work itself out. But like, we love each other, and like, we were friends before anything, so there's always gonna be a friendship there. And we run in the same circle, so we're always around each other at events and whatnot. So I don't know. I never know. You never know what's possible. But I always pray that, like, I'm not out here dating right now. I'm not out here like looking for something new.
You're healing?
I'm healing, and she's healing right now. She's just
That is
working.
excellent.
She's just grinding, working. So yeah, I think that's the most important part. The most important part is that we're cool and we're on good terms.
Yes.
Because everybody is always asking, like, oh, does she hate you, or do you hate her? Or, like, when people see like people in the public eye break up, they don't know. They just assume that like people hate each other now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're like, and so it's not the case at all. That's not the case at all.
I definitely wanted you to be able to put that in because I saw some of the comments and I'm like, they're grown.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
So talk to
I'm on
me.
good terms. I'm on good terms with all of my exes.
Okay.
I'm maneuver in like I try to maneuver in like love and peace, and I don't like having like grudges with nobody or having like bad vibes with anybody. Like I hate living like that.
To each his own. I don't keep in touch with my exes, but
I mean,
I don't hold
I don't
grudges.
keep in touch with them. I don't keep in
Oh,
touch
right.
with
Okay.
them, but I wish them well from afar. You know
Right.
what
Right.
I'm
Exactly. All right. I'm with you on that.
saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So talk to me more about your faith and spirituality in the entertainment industry, because I know that you're also a music artist,
Yeah,
but you don't put out the music that people would probably expect, if that makes sense.
right.
So talk to me about that. Like, why is it so important for you to carry yourself a certain way in all that you do?
Yeah. I mean, I've never like, I don't know, with my music, I've never like wanted to make the typical music that I hear. When I was younger and I was wild, I think my music kind of grows with me. Like I feel like that's the best way to explain my music. Like my music is whatever modes I'm in. So when I was young and wild and I was out here, like that was kind of the music that I was making. And then as I grew up, you know, I didn't want to make music like bashing women or nothing like that. Like I never really vibe with that. Like that's not me. And so I wanted to make my music true to myself. You know, I have party records. I have records talking about me and women, but I'm never trying to promote drugs. I don't want to promote drugs. I'm not trying to promote like having a bunch of women and all that stuff. Like I just feel like there's enough of that in the world, and it's not really leading nobody to anything healthy. You know what I'm saying? And so especially now, like my music that I've been working on now is like really just trying to promote positivity and you know, and teaching people to like, yeah, we make mistakes, but how do you grow through those mistakes? I feel like that's the biggest part because there's enough music out right now telling people to go pop some pills and get drunk and cheat on your girl. Like there's enough of that in the world. Like we don't need no more of that.
I love that point. So I first came to learn of you. I remember I was still heavy on Twitter. So what would I say? I don't know, 2012, 2013. And I think you were modeling for H&M at that time. Somebody had reposted a picture, and I'm like, somebody find him. And I have found you on Instagram, and I've been a fan ever since. So talk to me
Man,
about your
that's dope.
modeling career and journey. Like,
Thank
how did
you.
you even get into modeling?
It's crazy, yeah. So I moved to LA in 2006 to pursue music and acting. And I struggled till 2013. I literally was grinding and I one of my buddies had hit me up in 2013 and was like, "Yo, America's Next Top Model is having guys. You should go try out." And I'm like, bro, I'm not really a model. Like like I was making music at the time, and he was like, just you should go, bro, you should go. And so I went to the audition, and I was there all day, and I ended up getting booked. Tyra Banks called me personally and was like, I'd love to
What?
have you on the show. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing ever. And so that was like the start to my modeling career. After I did Top Model, I came off of Top Model. I got signed to Wilhelmina, and then I just started booking campaigns. I just started booking campaigns left and right. Guess, True Religion, H&M, Forever 21, like everything. And so, yeah, man, it's been a blessing. Like the past 7 years has been a blessing for my modeling, and I've been able to intertwine all of my passions into my career from my modeling, you know. So I always tell people modeling is like a great segue to do what you really want to do, entrepreneurship, acting, music, whatever it is. I've been able to place records in movies and TV shows with my companies that I'm modeling for. I'll do records for them. So
Wow.
it's a blessing,
I'm
man.
sure
I
that makes you
love
an
it.
asset too. Like, that's even more reason to hire you because you come with
Yeah.
these other skills.
And you know, being in LA for so long, I kind of learned how to do that. Like I kind of learned how to like mold yourself in multiple things. Like you want to be valuable across the board, not just one thing.
Yeah.
And you can make more money that way. If I'm working with a brand and I'm just modeling, I'm just getting a model check. But if I come in and I'm like, yo, I'll model, but then I'll post something on Instagram, I'll do a record for y'all, you know, I'll wear your clothes in this little film that we're doing. Like now I'm presenting a package. It's more
Right.
valuable. And so I try to teach people this a lot. I'm actually putting out a course next week. It's like a fashion model course, but I also speak on branding yourself and how to like really present yourself as a brand more than just going in and doing some e-com modeling for $1,000. Figure out a way to go in and brand yourself and make 10, 20, $30,000, you know?
Yes.
So, um, yeah, so I'll have the course coming out, but yeah, these are things that you just learn. I was talking to one of my mentors and he was telling me, he was like, mentors are there to take all the losses so that you don't have to, and that we can kind of like help you skip some steps. And it was amazing to me because all of the losses that I've taken, all of the struggles that I've had to endure, now I'm able to like share this knowledge with people that are trying to make it, and you know, like help them bypass some of those steps.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a blessing. What I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of mentors, probably some that you haven't even named yet. But what was
Yeah.
like one of the top things you remember learning from Tyra, and then maybe like another top tip you learned from another mentor?
From Tyra was my posture. She always was. I used to like have like a rapper's like hunch, like I was always slouched over, and she was like, "Your posture, boy, you gotta have better posture." And so she helped me with that, and then just her entrepreneurship, like
Yeah.
talking to her about owning multiple businesses, about being your own boss. Like she's the queen, you know. Like she has literally done so much stuff. So just her in that aspect, and then a couple other mentors, like talking to Devon Franklin or Pastor Teray, you know, on the more spiritual life side, like as men in the industry, learning how to maneuver around obstacles and stuff like that, and keeping your faith. Um, yeah, I've been blessed to be able to surround myself with some like really like great-minded people.
Yeah. When I have opportunities to talk to people like you, I really like for you guys to share the insight and some of the lessons that you've learned. Because I feel like so many people look at you guys with your 2.1 million followers and they
Right.
see all the attention you get and they totally miss the business part and like the enrichment that you have to have of yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I want to get to know you, I'm soaking up game from you and wisdom from you too. So, I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate your transparency.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I try to tell people like we have 2 million followers, but there's a lot of people out here that just rely on their followers. And whether you got 10,000 or 10 million, it's about building yourself as a brand. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people who have 10,000 followers who are doing more stuff in life than people who have 2 million
Come
followers. You
on
know what I'm
now.
saying? And so I try to tell people it's about building yourself as a brand and being able to survive if Instagram ain't around or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case, you know, like what are you doing? Are you investing your money? Are you building up your mindset? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you out in the club every night? Are you popping bottles, or are you like, are you taking that money and investing in real estate and investing? Like, these are things that I had to kind of like learn when I first started making money and first got my followers. Like, I had to take all these losses to now realize, like, not really losses, but just lessons. And so as I started talking to like older people and more mentors, I was like, yo, invest your money, don't be out so much, you know, work on your spirituality, work on your mindset, work on your skin and your health, and all this stuff is like, it's like so much. But yeah, man, I try to like really be an advocate for that, and like really use my platform for the better and try to motivate and encourage people rather than just like talking BS and being in the club every night. Like I did that when I was younger, and like I said, it's all about growth, you know. Like
Yeah.
I'm 33 years old, so I'm entering into a new phase in my life, and
Yeah.
whoever needs it, they're gonna find me and stumble upon it. If I'm not who they're trying to follow right now, if people are in turn up mode, then they might be scared by the stuff that I'm talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm following people that are putting pressure on me. I'm following people now that are trying to do the right things in life, and so you know, if you're not in that mindset, you're gonna look at somebody and be like, "Man, I ain't trying to hear all that right now."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But I'm sure you are influencing people who are not speaking on it. You know what I mean? Like right
Yeah,
now, they don't want to, but they might want your lifestyle. And I repeat, I think it's important that you are showing us how well rounded it is. And I believe that's the key to success. There's
yeah.
tons of attractive people, but like
Mm-hmm.
you're successful because of your desire to grow and learn and get
Right.
better. So again, I thank you so much for coming
Thank
on here.
you.
Make sure you guys visit itsdombenjamin.com. Get his
Yeah.
book, My Truth. He has a modeling course coming out, you said, next week.
Yeah, model course next week. The model course is dropping next week. Y'all stay tuned. It's gonna be great. A
He's
lot of a
got
lot of
merch.
lessons. I got
I ain't even
merch
talk
out.
about him wearing his own clothes,
Listen,
okay?
I've been going hard this year. Like quarantine made me wake up and realize I gotta get to it
Yeah.
because you know. So I've been trying to create a lot of stuff, but everything that I've been doing based off of being able to help other people. So if it's my merch, I'm trying to make it somewhat encouraging if it's my model course, my book that's out, My Truth is on Amazon. Make sure y'all grab that. I'm filming a movie end of the year, but everything I'm trying to do is like I wanted to help people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the key that I've learned is in helping other people, you're gonna just keep reaching new levels, keep growing. So that's really where I'm at.
Yes, and thank you, David. David Dwayne set this
David,
up,
my
guys.
guy. Yeah, but thank you for having me though, for sure. Thank you.
This
I
was
love what you're
absolutely a
doing.
pleasure.
I love it. Keep spreading positivity and love out here. It's amazing.
Likewise, King. Until next time, I'm your
For
girl, Bobby
sure.
Pin.
For sure. Already.
See you.
All right.
Thank you. See you.